Hey there, client, and welcome to Worth or Not Reviews, where I'm going to be answering the simple question: Is The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, developed by CD Projekt Red, worth it or not? Is it worth your money, your effort, but more importantly, is it worth your time? Let's see if I can answer that question relatively shortly. So Witcher 3 The Wild Hunt is the final installment, the final game in the epic Witcher franchise developed by CD Projekt Red, starting with Witcher 1 on PC and ending with Witcher 3 on The Wild Hunt, available on all major platforms. Now, of course, I've already done a video on this, but for purposes of the review, I will let you know my experience with The Witcher. I have played only two Witcher games to their completion. That's Witcher 2 and Witcher 3, because Witcher 1, something about it, I've tried playing it, but I couldn't really get into it. But I've played 2 and 3, and I have watched the entire playthrough of Witcher 1. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my experience with it. But I instantly fell in love with the series. I absolutely loved it. I absolutely love the characters. I love everything about it. So I'm a little bit biased in that way, if you can't. And also, CD Projekt Red, once upon a time ago, were kind enough to send me a Witcher medallion, which is not one from the collection edition. This is a prototype by the looks of it. The early stages of one. So that's very kind of them. So I'm a little bit biased. I will state that off the bat, just to make sure everything is clear. But in this review, I will be talking about the story, graphics, gameplay, and my overall experience and enjoyment with it. That's at least how I'm going to try and handle, but I may get a little Gucci on the story because I'm a story person. But let's dive into this review and start with the story. Okay, I will try and avoid spoilers if at all possible. I've already done a number of videos on the Witcher 3 gameplay related leading up to the ending, including my ending experience. And just a little heads up, I cried in at least 2, if not 3, of my Witcher videos. They made me cry. That's how good the story is in this game. But the story of Witcher is basically Geralt has been hired by the Emperor of the North, Emperor Emhyr, voiced by Charles Dance, to locate his daughter, Ciri, or Cirilla if you prefer the full name, who Geralt actually raised, not Emhyr. Emhyr did not raise her. Geralt primarily raised Ciri with the help of Yennefer. And Ciri is one of the Elder Blood, a very old lineage in the Witcher universe, and also extremely powerful. So much so that Ciri herself has magical abilities, able to plane shift, transport to different dimensions, and has very, very skilled in swordsmanship fighting thanks to Geralt's training. He's been tasked to locate her due to the fact that a supernatural beings known as the Wild Hunt are after her. And basically he's been tasked to find her and in the same way possibly stop the Wild Hunt, because Geralt has had his experience with the Wild Hunt due to the fact that he was held captive by them at one point after his first death. Yes, his first death. I'll get to that in a moment. But that's the overall story of The Witcher 3. That's the main story. But Witcher 3 is filled with so much story. I couldn't possibly talk about any of it without spoiling anything. There's the main story. There are dozens, if not dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens upon of side stories, minuscule, tiny little segments in the game that have their own little story. Each quest in the game has its own story. Each character has their own story. And I could spend hours talking about the story of each individual character themselves, but that would spoil so much of the experience for it. Witcher 3 is such an amazing story. The story is phenomenal. It made me cry, it made me laugh, it made me happy, it made me sad. It made me feel emotions that I haven't felt in a long time. The characters are so outstanding as well. Geralt, Triss, Yennefer, Ciri herself when we eventually do meet up with her, and even in her little segments where we do get to play as her, which I'll talk about in the gameplay, to Dandelion, to Zoltan, to... Oh, there are so many characters. Dijkstra, Philippa... There are like the royalties, the characters, Roach, Vess. There are so many characters I could talk about. It's unbloody believable. I just loved every character in this game. They're all phenomenal characters. They're all subsequently dark as well. The Witcher story is not a nice story. it in most times actually is very depressing. That is actually one of the most predominant feelings in the game that I felt. Now, I'm a person who suffers from depression, so this game really hit home with that. There are moments in this game where I actually had to put it down due to the fact that it was actually triggering my depression quite severely. But the Witcher world is not a nice world. This isn't your fantasy world where everything's good and happy and never goes. Geralt himself is not actually a hero in a way. He is merely a man who wants to save his friends and his family and, of course, his daughter. Even though she is not his biological daughter. But there are so many amazing characters. CD Projekt Red did an exceptional job in writing these characters and developing these characters, which helped the fact that they are actually all preset characters. I do believe there are original characters in the game, but most of the characters from the Witcher universe are present in the books. I have actually only read The Last Wish, which is a collection of short stories, which I highly, highly recommend this. And Blood Elves, which I'm about that far through where the bookmark is. It's just I'm taking my time with this. They're written by Andrzej Sapkowski, I believe is how you pronounce his name. They are all preset characters. They have their own distinct characters. Geralt himself, however, is one of the ones of the exception. Even though Geralt is a preset character, the way you play the game, due to the fact that Geralt lost his memories in the first game, you can shape Geralt into a slightly different character than he is in the game. You can play Geralt the way you want to do it, which is one of the best parts of the game, is that every person's Geralt is going to be slightly different. You will play your Geralt slightly different compared to how I played them. Now, if you saw the gameplay footage on the channel, you will see how I played mine. But the world of The Witcher was already preset, and CD Projekt Red just took what was already there and ran with it and did something absolutely amazing while also sticking very close to the source material. They have done one of the best adaptations from book to game I have ever seen in my life, and this is how you should probably do them in the future. But CD Projekt Red did an exceptional job with the Witcher universe, with what they were given, and then continuing. There are more books in the Witcher franchise. I believe there's somewhere in the range of 5 to 6, I believe. They are not all translated into English, sadly. I am going to try and get all of them once I can. But the CD Projekt Red took what was already there and just made it that much more amazing. Developing the story and seeing where it went from there. I absolutely loved it. There are times in this game where I really genuinely did care for the characters. As I say, I've cried 3 times in The Witcher, and it's all on video and camera. That shows how much I cared about these characters. I grew a connection with them. Geralt looking for Ciri is what the main one that I got the most feelings from was Geralt and Ciri himself. Now, without spoiling anything, of course, I will do as vague as possible. But the times in which they interacted and got to talk, and hearing the stories of Geralt and Ciri just absolutely warmed my heart and just made me so happy to actually see them. I could not help but tear up when they eventually, spoiler, are reunited. But I absolutely love the dialogue. The way Geralt talks about Ciri, you can tell that he is a genuinely caring father. And I absolutely... Now, some people will bring up the thing that Geralt isn't Ciri's father. Not biologically, anyway. Ciri's biological father is the Emperor of the Northern Realms, I believe, if memory serves me. Nilfgaard. Emperor Mir, who's the one that tasks us to find her after she makes her return after being gone for many, many years. I don't see it like that. I do not see Emir as Ciri's father. He may have helped create her and bring her into this world with his semen and his mother's egg, but to me, that doesn't make you a father. Just because you brought this life into the world does not make you a father, or even a mother in a way. In my opinion, Yennefer is more of a mother to Ciri than her own biological mother. I think is dead, actually, if memory serves me. But I have always viewed Geralt as her father, and that's because Geralt has earned that. You do not get given the title of father or mother. That is a title that you have to earn by raising a child properly, and give up things for that parent, and actually love that child and care for it deeply and make sure that it has the best opportunity that you as yourself can give it. And when eventually that child moves on and goes on to do their own adventures, you've done everything you can to support them and make sure that they have a good start in this world. That, in my opinion, is the definition of a parent, and that, in my opinion, is why Geralt is Ciri's father, dad, whatever you want to call it. That is how I've always seen it. That's how I've always viewed it. And for me personally, that's how Geralt views, and that's how Ciri feels. I personally think that Geralt is her father. In Ciri's eyes, Geralt is her father. The Emir is merely the person who's biologically her father, but Geralt is her father, the person who raised her, who helped shape her into the person she is right now, and that's the way I've always viewed it. I absolutely love that. And Geralt did everything he could to make sure Ciri had the best opportunities. Ciri is smart, intelligent, very, very wise for her age, even if she is arrogant at some points. Very skilled in fighting styles, very, very well connected, and if you don't mind me saying, an absolutely beautiful lassie, both physically and also mentally. I've definitely grown a fondness for Ciri and Alistair, and definitely she is one of my favourite characters of the entire Witcher franchise, even in the books, which I only know her in the books as a child, but I definitely love Ciri's character, and I definitely want to see more of her. But the story is so phenomenal, the characters are so phenomenal. Geralt's friendships as well are absolutely outstanding with Zoltan, Dandelion, and his relationships and romantic ones with, of course, Yennefer and Triss is always one of the very interesting ones. I mean, now, of course, whether you're Team Yennefer or Team Triss, you understand that both of them do love Geralt immensely, and Geralt loves them immensely. That's something I've always said, that Geralt does love Yennefer and he does love Triss, but he knows fine too well that he can't have both of them, because they don't share. Yennefer and Triss, they don't share, and that's very apparent. And if you do try and play with them, I love what happens, but I won't spoil with that. Now, if you wonder what I went pro Triss. I was on Triss's for my first playthrough. My second playthrough, I went Yennefer. And I don't know what one I prefer yet. I don't think I prefer either one. I think both of them are absolutely outstanding relationships, especially the fact that both of them have history together, both Triss and Geralt, and Yennefer and Geralt themselves. I absolutely love both of their romances, and I think they're absolutely outstanding. And as I say, you make your own preference whether one you prefer. That is completely up to you. But I absolutely love that, and especially one character in particular I grew to actually care about more in that than I expected, and that is Yennefer. Now, this is Yennefer's first ever appearance in the games. I know of her from the books only partially, especially from Last Wish, which she makes her appearance in. Yennefer, to me, I actually didn't like her at the start of the game. She actually rubbed me the wrong way. It's something that about her character that I just did not like. I thought she was extremely arrogant. I thought that she was very pompous. But at the same time, I could also see the flakes and the kindness in her, the actual things that were important to Geralt, and the reason that Geralt actually loved her. The reason, I could definitely see the attraction between Geralt and Yennefer, both from him and her perspective. But Yennefer just did not rub me the right way. I actually did not actually like her for a good chunk of the game, but at the same time, I also respected her. I understand why she's the way she is, why she chooses to be the way she does, and in a way, I knew why Geralt loved her. But as the game went on, I actually grew to care for her a lot, to the point in which I'd already made my choice that I was romancing Triss, and I'd already set that in stone. But at the point where I had to actually turn her down in the game, that broke my heart. That made me extremely sad to have to do that to Yennefer, because she loves Geralt more than anyone in this world, probably. And I definitely felt for her when I had to turn her down. It felt real bad, because my Geralt's not a two-timer. He'd already set his heart on Triss, but I actually grew to care for Yennefer a lot more than I thought I would, and I absolutely adore her character. I think she's phenomenal, and I definitely understand why she does what she does in the game, which I will not spoil. But I loved it. Yennefer was one of the characters I was like, I'm not going to like her, but I ended up loving her a lot. And as I said, I romanced her in my second playthrough. I can't praise the story and the characters enough. I could literally spend like 5 hours talking about each character individually with people, but I will not bore you with that details as this is the review. But I absolutely loved the characters, and it shows that I cried, and it shows them the way I'm talking about them, why I love them, and I grew to care for them immensely, and I absolutely love them. I'm actually tearing up now, actually bringing back the memories of some of the characters, and I'm actually picturing so many of the scenes in my head that I had in the game. I'm picturing my ending, I'm picturing my interaction, I'm picturing the romances, I'm picturing them in my mind, and they are making me I am tearing up right now just thinking about them. I absolutely love that. I love the fact that I can look on these memories and just think of them and go, I love them, and I cannot praise the story enough in this game and the characters. It just makes me absolutely phenomenal. Even though some of the characters I actively grew to hate. I was like, I freaking hate you. I want to ram my sword through your stomach and watch you bleed and die a horrible and painful death. But at the same time, that's also why I love the game. because there are characters who I genuinely hated, but I understood why they are the way they are. Dijkstra, for example, is a character who I was like, look, dude, I respect you, but I want to rip your fucking throat out. And I won't spoil what happens, but I actually wanted to rip his freaking throat out. Philippa Eilhart, who we do end up interacting with, which I will not spoil for anyone, but that woman literally drives me up the wall. I literally want to stab her through the eyes again and rip her fake eyeballs out of her face. I'm going to rip her tongue out. I'm going to bash her and beat her to death. But my Geralt won't do that, because he understands there's a purpose for her. I actually really grew to like her for that reason. I hate her. I want to punch her. But I'm like, I respect you for who you are, and I'm not going to do it. Oh, that's... Philippa driving me up the wall. She was probably one of the most aggravating characters in the game that I actually wanted to punch in the face. But at the same time, I understood why she is the way she is. I completely do. And of course, there's Viz. I end up just calling him Viz. He's Geralt's mentor. Vesemir, that's his name. I love Vesemir. Vesemir is amazing. He's absolutely... He's nearly 200 years old, and he's still fucking outstanding and absolutely amazing. I loved his character. I also loved his interactions with Ciri, Geralt, Yennefer, Triss. I loved his interaction. Absolutely loved that. Every character in this game I just love. I absolutely... Even the characters who are only in the game for a brief moment of time, I grew to love. Like Kira. Kira, the sorceress you meet early on in the game. Basically, I'll say the Cinderella sorceress, who, that's best way I can say, the Cinderella sorceress. I will not say anything else on that, but her character development is one of my favourite early on. I absolutely love what happened to her and how you interact with her and you talk to her, and the experience is that Geralt does actually care for this person as a friend. And I absolutely love that, or friend with benefits in my case. But I won't say anything. But I absolutely love that. And then, of course, I have to talk about a couple of the other characters. I'm going to gush. This will be the last one, but the crones. The crones in the game, you've seen them in the trailers. They're the witches who... They're the witches who are so ugly and grotesque that it makes me want to throw up. I grew to love them. I literally was praying to the Maker. I was like, please give me the chance to kill these witches, please! And I was waiting for that opportunity to where I get to ram my sword through their throat and watch them suffocate and gurgle and gurgle on their own blood. Oh! I was waiting for that moment, and I don't want to spoil it, but I was waiting for that moment to where I get that opportunity, and I love it! I loved it when we got that. I won't say anything else. I'm literally holding back from spoiling the entire game here, but I absolutely loved it. I love the characters. They give you a reason to hate characters in some cases. They also give you a reason to love characters. And CD Projekt Red have an outstanding writing team. The voice acting as well is superb. Every voice actor, there is not a bad voice acting performance in this game at all. Except maybe the farting trolls on Skellig. I mean, that Joe and Jesse and Dodger, man, those trolls were really freaking annoying. But the voice acting is so exceptional in this game. Geralt's voice actor, who's DC, I call his name. His initials are DC. I think it's Doug Cookie or something along those lines. He does an exceptional job. The voice actresses and actors in this game do an exceptional job. Some of the best voice acting in the game I've ever seen. Not only getting across the subtlety of a character, but also the signs out there of what this character is, why they talk the way they are, why they say what others. Charles Dance himself, even though he doesn't have that many lines compared to the others, is exceptional in this one, and he still gets that urge of me where I want to punch him in the face, and I'm like, Urgh! But at the same time, like, I will not punch you, I want to punch you in the face, but I'm not going to punch you in the face because you're awesome. That's just confusing. Oh, but I love that. I absolutely love that. And I'm going to stop now because I will end up going on. This review will be nothing to me but talking the story, but the story in this game is fantastic. I highly love the story. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Let's move on to the gameplay and other aspects before I end up gushing. I don't know how long I've been talking, but let's move on and talk. Okay, I feel as though I have to talk about Gwent before I talk about the gameplay. I love Gwent. I'll be honest, when I started the game, I was like, I'm not going to like Gwent. And I played a couple of games that I was like, it's alright. But then I started playing more of it. I love Gwent. I absolutely love it. So much so that I'm actually keeping my eye actively on eBay on a daily or bi-daily basis for actual Gwent cards. Because they did release some Gwent cards for collector's editions and that in America. I don't know if they did it in the UK. But there are actual Gwent cards in real life and I want them. I want Gwent cards. Give me the Gwent cards. I want actual physical decks of Gwent cards. I want them, but unfortunately, they're a collector's item now, and they are really expensive, going for anywhere from £60 to £100, which I'm just like, I can't afford that. But in all honesty, if I could, I would. I'll be honest, I would if I could. But I want actual Gwent cards. I'm actually very tempted to contact CD Projekt Red to see if they have any spares, but I won't do that. They'll probably get a massive deal. But I love Gwent. I think it's an absolute outstanding little card game, and I want real Gwent cards. But of course, let's talk else about the gameplay other than Gwent, which is amazing. The gameplay in the game is outstanding. It is absolutely brilliant. In the game, you will be using sword. You'll be using sword style, signs, which is the base of the magic, potions, and various other aspects of this. Now, when I was playing through the game, I primarily focused on the melee, the swords, and the potions and signs. I concentrated on those three. Eventually, even getting some of the best potions in the game and getting the best signs in the game, in my opinion. Using the gameplay in this game where you had to actually adjust and adapt to actually learning about the monsters that you were going up against, actually becoming a Witcher, because if you were going up against, for example, a cockatrice, you had to look up everything about cockatrices. You had to look at what are they vulnerable to, what kind of creature are they, what are their habits. You had to look up this stuff and find out what's best. Like, if you go into a battle unprepared against some of these creatures, they will slaughter you. They will kill you like that. But if you go in prepared using the correct oils, signs, and bombs, you can crush creatures. I actually went and battled an Archgriffin at one point in this game that was like 2 levels higher than me, and I didn't really have much information on it, but I went in and the thing slaughtered me. And I was like, I'll be back for you. I remember you. I will be back for you. So I went away, leveled up, got more abilities with my swords, my bombs, my signs. I got all of that leveled up, and then I went back to the thing and I slaughtered the thing. I literally, one added sign, one stun bomb, and then slash, 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 it was dead. And it's one of the greatest feelings in this game when you actually get to kill something that was annoying you for so much. And the gameplay is just absolutely brilliant. There are some hiccups, I will not lie. The horse riding aspect of the game is a little bit finicky. It took a little while for me to get used to that. But at the same time, I still enjoyed it. I still enjoyed riding my little Roach around, and he was awesome. Roach for life, baby! But just riding around on Roach was absolutely outstanding. And then, of course, that was probably why the horse riding aspect was a little bit, because there were a lot of glitches with the horses, including at one point when my horse was doing a handstand for like a majority of it, for like a half hour. Like every time I was riding, he was doing a handstand, so I ended up walking around most of the time. But the gameplay is outstanding, where you actually have to find herbs for your potions, actually have to use different swords for that, like a normal sword for normal aims, like humans, wolves, and all that, and then a silver blade for the other beasts in the world. I actually really like the fact that the gameplay was very well done. You had to balance, you had to actually think on your feet. Now, on the easy/normal difficulty, which I played on normal, you could honestly probably just go complete blades and swords and probably be okay with that. But on the higher difficulties, you will need to use potions, swords, and various other items to actually do that, just so you can actually be within the sword. Because if you don't go into a battle prepared most of the time, you will get slaughtered. And with the gameplay and the aspect that you have to actually move, dodge, dip, duck, dive, dodge, and dodge, and then keep moving, rolling out of the way of projectile attacks, actually using your blade to deflect bolts, drinking the potions that you need to fight against monsters. Like, make sure you drink a swallow potion so your health regenerates, drink a Talo potion, a tallow potion. You drink that to make sure your signs and your stamina regenerate, so you can just spam at it and just keep them on their ass, then stab them while they're down. There's a game that promotes using everything at your advantage to kill these things, because here's the thing, people don't fight fair. That's the thing, these beasts and people will not fight fair, and you have to fight them and actually use everything to your advantage. So use your signs, use your potions, use your bombs, use your blades, kill everything, use everything to your advantage, and it makes the battles that much easier. You're going up against a group of 5 to 10 individuals. You want to make sure you're prepared, so you will use that added sign to make sure they get knocked on their ass, and then you'll switch over to Igni and actually burn them and actually incinerate them in some instances. I'm not going to lie, one of the best feelings is actually burning those guys with the Firestorm one, which is an alternative sign, which is basically allows you like a mini flamethrower, and then you concentrate it and burn some. I'm not going to lie, I actually used that quite a bit, specifically on people who were followers of the Sacred Flame, basically, because I was like, does your fire feel good? May the Sacred Flame burn you. I actually really, that was one of the things I did. I just, because I was like, yeah, you like the Sacred Flame? Feel my Sacred Flame. And I absolutely really enjoyed that aspect. Just little things like that I absolutely enjoyed. But the gameplay is very well done. There were a couple of hiccups, as I say. Sometimes when Geralt doesn't dodge properly, he gets hit, even though I did dodge it. But at the same time, they balanced it with patches. Like, CD Projekt Red were like that with patches. Anytime there was a major problem, they fixed it. They also fixed a lot of exploits, which I found hilarious with the cow one. That was funny as heck. But I definitely enjoyed that. I really did enjoy the gameplay. It felt good. Like, anytime I died, 99% of the time, it was because I was stupid. I didn't drink my potion. I didn't have the proper oil equipped. I didn't dodge out in time and everything. I got arrogant, I got cocky, various things, or I got overwhelmed like by neckers or ghouls. Like, those neckers and ghouls on their own are not that terrifying, but when they're in large groups, they will slaughter you just quickly. Now, you have to actually prepare to go up against those things, even though they are relatively weak. Like, you can kill most neckers in 2 swipes of your sword, but when it's a group of like 10 to 20 of them, you have to be careful, because those things will slaughter you, death by 1,000 cuts, basically. But if you prepare properly, you can go into this game and absolutely slaughter everything. Even if you're like 5 or 10 levels lower than the thing, if you prepare properly, you can kill pretty much anything. Like, until they fixed the XP glitch, most monsters I went up against were actually like 5 or 10 levels higher than me, and I was still able to actually beat them because I was smart. I used my head to go up against them. I drank the right potion. I used the right bombs. I used the right signs against a cockatrice that's flying up the air. Use the added sign to knock it on the ground, and then you swing over, slash, slash, slash with my Draken Oil, roll out of the way of its venomous bite, then wait for it to fly again. It goes up. I use the iron again. I slash, 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 and it's dead. And then I ride around with its head on my freaking horse and roach and be like, yeah, bitches, I killed this thing. What up? What up? It still makes me laugh that people will stop, that normal troops will go to, I think I can take him. He just killed that bloody cockatrice, but I think I can take him. Come on, bring it on, bring it on. And then I'm dead. And well, that's one thing absolutely. The one of my favorite aspects of the game is the fact that you actually have to be in the mentality of a Witcher to actually be good at the gameplay. You can't just, maybe on easy or normal you could just run and gun it, but in most of the cases you will have to think on your feet and actually plan to go up against these things. If you're going up against, if you accept a Witcher contract, which is, there's many of them, I've completed all of them thanks to my habit. But if you pick up a Witcher contract, you'll want to learn everything you can to do. Like, one of the first Witcher contracts you get, which introduces you into the gameplay, is one about a Noon Wraith, a Wraith, and you have to actually look up, like, okay, what are Wraiths? Like, Wraiths are female or spirits that have been, that are basically slaughtered, that were killed, basically women who were killed in a violent manner, and they still haunt the area that they were killed in, because they do. And then you look around, like, okay, let's have a look. Now, you can just go there, wait until midnight, kill the thing, and then get out of there. But if you actually plan it and actually want to get rid of it permanently, because Noon Wraiths, or Wraiths in particular, as long as what's keeping them there is there, they will just they will come back, basically. So as a Witcher, you look around, you find a journal that explains to the woman who is here. You find a lady's dead body who died there, who was hung in, actually. And then you find her body, the reason she's there, find a little, the item that's keeping her there, you burn it, you wait, then you take care of the Wraith, and that's the thing gone for good. It's gone for good. It's dead. Will not come back. That quest introduces you to the oils, introduces you to the bombs that you will use. It says to you, this is what you will need to go up against this thing. You could probably take it on its own, but no harm in being prepared and using everything to your advantage, because these things are vicious. These beasts, these wraiths, these cockatrices, these wyverns, these giants, the cyclopses, these things will wreck you if you do not prepare yourself. And I actually think the tutorial area does an exceptional job in introducing you to every element of the game, showing that here's what you need to do these quests. And I absolutely think that's absolutely phenomenal. Especially with the Witcher Sense, which is basically tracking, which allows you to see the items and items that other people would miss, like follow tracks and invest. It's basically just like a detective mode from Batman, where it allows you to analyze everything and look around and see what you may have missed. The gameplay is outstanding, with a few hiccups here and there, but the gameplay is absolutely outstanding. I think it's a phenomenal job. It made me actually feel like a Witcher. So I think that's pretty much there. Really, I think I'm going much graphics and overall enjoyment, because I don't really have too much to say about the graphics beyond they're stunning. Like, there were a couple of graphical glitches I came across, like things just blacking out for no reason, water flickering, But the graphics are absolutely phenomenal, especially on Geralt's hair, which looks absolutely gorgeous. Especially when you let his beard grow out. The beard, the hair, oh, he looks bloody gorgeous. I'd see why all the sorceresses love him. But, excuse me, I absolutely think this game is one of the best looking games to come out this year. It looks better than most other games I've played this year. It looks outstanding. The graphics are exceptional. Geralt looks amazing. The models look absolutely outstanding. Triss especially looks bloody gorgeous. Yennefer looks amazing. Ciri looks outstanding. The scars you get to see on Geralt's body when he's eventually naked. Yes, he's naked at some points. Don't... What? But the scars on his body look so detailed. The foliage, the monsters look grotesque and vile and despicable, and you just want to rip and kill them all, and it's absolutely stunning game. Even the ugly things look beautiful. To an extent, I'm not saying I would ever do that, but the graphics are outstanding. I think they are definitely top-notch graphics. Even though some people have stated that it's a bit of a downgrade from what we saw last year at E3, I still think the graphics are absolutely outstanding. I absolutely think they look beautiful, and I'm sure they'll look even better on PC. I know, PC bloody master races can bugger off. I still love Witcher. Now, I will eventually pick up Witcher 3 on PC because mods, but the game, even on PS4, is one of the best looking games on PlayStation 4. It's absolutely stunning. There were moments in which I just sat there and looked around and was just like, this game is beautiful. And there was even times where I just sat there and just looked around and was like, especially Skellige. Skellige was beautiful. It is one of the best sceneries in the game, especially if you get to the highest point in the mountains and then just look. Just look. And it looks beautiful. The ocean, the snow, the mountains, everything looks beautiful on Skellige. It's absolutely stunning. That's just me though. Skellige is probably one of the most beautiful places in the game, even though it's probably one of the most violent places in the game, but it looked outstanding. I absolutely think the graphics are top notch overall in this game. I don't really have much to say beyond they are beautiful, even including a couple of graphical glitches. I guess it's just time to the final part, my overall enjoyment of the game. I think it's blatantly obvious that I love this game. I think that Witcher 3 is, in my opinion, a Game of the Year candidate, if not my Game of the Year personally. I love this game. It is outstanding. It basically takes the games of The Witcher and wraps everything up in a nice little way. In a way, not nice, I understand, but it wraps everything up neatly. As you play through the game, it does everything that you expect to do. It lived up to the expectations I was hoping it for and surpassed them. This is one of the few games that I can definitely say that not only did it meet my expectations, but it took my expectations, put it in a rocket, and launched it to the other side of the galaxy. It went to bloody Andromeda with my expectations. And it lived and went further and further and just keeps going. Even on a second playthrough playing this game, I still loved it. It is probably my Game of the Year if I'm going to be honest, but I will save my breath until I play other games this year. It is outstanding. I love it, and I have to thank CD Projekt Red for actually making these games. Witcher 1, Witcher 2, and Witcher 3. I absolutely love them. Now, Witcher 3 is the best in the series. I'm stating that right off the bat. But I absolutely have to give a thank you for CD Projekt Red for actually making this game and not actually giving in to the censorship as well. That this game is not censored. This is full-on adult game. This is not for children. The 18 on here is pretty well earned just because of the fact, and no, not because of the nudity. Because nudity, what the fuck? Why are we so prudes about that? I don't get that. But just for the fact that it touches upon very sensitive topics, including rape, abuse, racism, judging people, blame, even kidnapping, child abuse, and to an extent, it touches on some extremely sensitive topics. And also, in the main theme of this game, it goes, even though there are monsters in this world, the worst monsters are people. We are the worst things in this world. Especially this shows it. The monsters are allegories for actual people in a way. In this game, I felt the people were the worst things in this game. It shows that even though there are monsters out there that can rip you to pieces, some of the things that people do in this game are despicable. These creatures out there, the monsters, are doing it out of nature. People know what they're doing and accept it. This game shows that. It shows the worst of humanity. But at the same time, once you get through the worst, you see the best. You see the glimmer. Like, even if it's only a glimmer of the best of humanity, that glimmer is like a sun when you see it. And Witcher does that exceptionally. That is why I love it. It shows the worst of humanity, but then it shows the glimmers of goodness, the actual decent people in this world that you see and know in this life, and The Witcher especially. Like, you see characters like Ciri, Yennefer, Triss, even though they do... Yennefer herself does some really fucking despicable stuff. You also see the good nature in them, and those good things shine like a star and show you that for all the shit you had to get through, those people are worth fighting for. Those people that you care for, and the people who are actually good and decent people in this world, is why you keep going. And Witcher personifies that. I love this game. I enjoy it. I will play it again probably shortly. 2 playthroughs is not enough. I will probably play this in a 6 months time, and I will actually play it again. I love this game. I love CD Projekt Red. CD Projekt Red are definitely up there with one of my favourite developers of all time. Not only do they make amazing games, but they are very good at what they do, and actually they're good at PR, they're good at talking, they are actual gamers, and they make something that they would play to share it with us. And I think their word says it best. This came with the game, and it's in every copy of the game, and I've already read it out before, but I will read it again. Dear gamer, first of all, we would like to thank you for your support. We really appreciate that you have decided to spend your hard-earned money on our game, and hope you will have a fun time playing it. Over 200 of us have spent the last 3 years working on Witcher 3 The Wild Hunt, and it is with great pleasure and humility that we present our game to you. At CD Projekt Red, we believe when you buy our games, you're entitled to continuous free support, updates, patches, and bits of new and amazing content. We owe you that, and for believing in us and purchasing our game. To thank you, we'll be preparing really special 16 DLCs to download totally free of charge, regardless of what platform or edition of the game you got. We salute you for your support and wish you a fantastic next generation of RPG gaming. CD Projekt Red. That to me is something not a lot of developers do that, and more should. And really, CD Projekt Red, they salute us. I only think it is right that we salute them, because they know gaming, they know gamers, they know game development. They are probably one of my favourite game developers out there, and I salute them, salute them, salute them, salute them, salute them until my arm goes numb. I love this game. I love Witcher 3, and I love CD Projekt Red. They are outstanding. And one day I will cosplay as Geralt of Rivia. One day I will. I swear to it in this video. But yeah, I love it. And if you can't tell, if you're an RPG fan, if you're a person who loves great story, even if you're not an RPG fan and you love great stories, pick this game up and play it on easy mode. It's not easy mode, the story mode, which I think is what it's called, which is basically pure story, and the combat is, you could probably breeze through most of it. Pick up the game and play it if you love good stories and you want to support an amazing developer. This game is outstanding. I don't care what platform you pick it up in either. If you have an Xbox One, this is a must own. If you're on a PS4, must own. If you have a PC that can run it, must own. Play this game. This is one of the must own games in any gamer's collection, in my opinion. This is a must own. Same with Witcher 2, I think, as well. Witcher 1, I'm going to be honest, you don't need to play that. Witcher 1, I can't personally play it, just because gameplay purposes. The gameplay I cannot play, unfortunately. But this game, massive open world adventure, is the best words to describe it. I love this game. It is worth it. It is worth every penny. It is worth your time. It is worth your investment. It is worth your effort to at least try this game. It is outstanding. And definitely one of the greatest games I've played in my entire life. And I highly, highly recommend it. And I will definitely be replaying this again in the future. This is amazing. I've gushed about this game for I don't know how long now. This is my worth it or not review. Let's see how long it's been going. But yeah, Thank you, CD Projekt Red. I cannot thank you enough for creating one of the greatest games ever, in my opinion. And also thank you to Andrzej Sapkowski for creating the Witcher world. I cannot thank you enough for creating that world and sharing it with us and allowing CD Projekt Red to develop this game. I thank you for that. And we're going for 40 minutes. Wow. I think this is where I'll end this now. I thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you will pick up Witcher 3. If not, go play the other Witcher games, or even read the books. I thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, I'm Scottish Warrior 92, and Witcher 3 is worth it. Ciao for now.